3.5 years ago, I moved from the Netherlands over to Australia to follow my dreams of working with wildlife. Before this time, I actually used to live stream on Twitch.
With the knife, boys, let's go.
So some of the people that used to follow me over there and that I still talk to on the regular over on Discord have actually asked me a few questions and that I'm going to be answering in this video today. So for the new people, it's basically a get to know me, and for the other people that already used to follow me, it's a how things are going kind of video. Found myself a pretty nice spot, got the camping chair ready. We'll be setting that up in a second as well. I thought, let's just get into the first question right now. So the first question is from Jade. She's been following me for a long time. And her question is, when did you first become interested in moving to Australia? So that's probably roughly about 5 years ago when I finally finished my studies. So I studied animal care back in the Netherlands, and I was gonna do some veterinary kind of course and study from there. But I realized I don't think I want to work in a clinic for the rest of my life, even though it's very noble work. Like, I love what the people are doing over there. I just don't think it's for me. So I took a gap year and I really thought about, what do I really want with my life? And then I started thinking about Africa and Australia, and then the ball kind of started rolling from there. Which is actually a good follow-up question from Joshua. And he asked me, what made you decide to go down under? Now, like I said, I was thinking about Africa and then Australia. So I was like, let me do this course in Africa where you're in the bush for an entire year, and then you're basically trained to become a tour guide and become a field guide out in Africa, which I thought was pretty awesome. But yeah, I'm also a type 1 diabetic. I gotta keep my insulin cool. So I figured it was probably not the best idea to go out in the middle of the bush where I wasn't able to keep that cool and stuff. Then I was like, what's a pretty wild country area? And then Australia popped into my head. I started looking into it, and here we are. Like, Australia it is. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. I've got two questions that I kind of want to combine. One's from Hong and one's from Hawa. And the question is, you've been there for almost 3.5 years now. Are you thinking about coming back, or have you visited the Netherlands? And then the next question is, when did you decide that this is the place you wanted to stay in? So the next question already kind of answers the previous question, but basically, of course I've been thinking about going back, but the visas, oh, it's such a pain in the butt. It's been here for a long time. I'm trying to get back to the Netherlands in March 2026, but yeah, money and visa reasons, it's just very complicated as well. Next question, when did you know that this was the place you wanted to stay in? So I do want to go back to the Netherlands to visit, but I feel like I'm trying to create Australia as my home base. Like, this country is awesome, man. Have you seen the wildlife that's out here? It's so fascinating. I can drive for 20 minutes and I'll be in the middle of the bush. Now, this is not everywhere in Australia, but the part where I'm located, Northern Australia, that's where you can do all this kind of stuff, and it's just so cool. So yeah, how wild Australia can be, that gets me really excited. If you know anything about the Netherlands, it's awesome out there, and the education and infrastructure is really good, but it's a lot of people for quite a small country. So even if you wanted to create lots of nature area, it's just not really possible because there's too many people and too little land. So yeah, for now, Australia it is. Once I do hopefully one day have the permanent residency or maybe even citizenship, we'll see from there. Then you can always like come back and go home and all that kind of stuff, yeah. All right, we've got another question from Jade. What are the biggest differences between Australia and the Netherlands for you? While I'm answering that question, I'm actually gonna be setting up the camping chair if you don't mind. So one of the biggest differences is, again, how people look at wildlife. In the Netherlands, people just kind of see wildlife as scary, even though the wildlife's not very wild. And over here, I really feel like people try and coexist with the animals that are around. I try and coexist too, but I did have some birds a few days ago in this spot that actually attacked me. So I coexist with the animals, but the animals don't coexist with me. But yeah, I feel like that's the biggest difference, the way people look at nature. Like, I feel like there's a lot more respect over here than maybe back home. Not saying that there's people back home that don't have any respect for animals, but I feel like it's just maybe a little bit more out here. Oh, right, I found myself a pretty cozy spot over here in front of the trees. Let's get into the next ones. And I've got a few questions about my work and what do I really do here in Australia? So Hallie asked me, what are you doing there? Like, what are you working as? So I'm working as a zookeeper right now in a reptile/crocodile park, and I've been doing that for the last three and a half years, which is pretty good. My goal is to eventually work with the animals in the wild and get into like these conservation programs, which we'll get into, but it's just really getting my name out there, finding the right contacts and just building up the experience with these 5-meter crocodiles. I'm not saying I'm going to be working with crocodiles forever, but for now, I really like crocodiles. So yeah, we'll see what the future brings in that regard. And then Pika asked me, which is a good mate of mine, he's like, what's your favorite thing about the job? Now, my favorite thing is certainly educating people. We can do the shows and feed the crocodiles, but the coolest thing is actually these VIP tours that you can do where you take the people along on a private tour, like say 6 to 8 people, and in this conversation style, you just educate them. You get them excited. You get those people to feed a crocodile, because people get excited when they do something, when they interact with the animal. That doesn't always mean holding the animal, but feeding a 5-meter crocodile, how cool is that? So I'm obviously excited about the animal. And then at the end of the hour and a half, if those people are excited too, that's probably my favorite part, like getting people excited about the animals. And once they're excited, once you've got their attention, and then hopefully you can give them some information about conservation and their part they can do to make the world just a little bit better. It's pretty cool. So Carter actually asked me, what's the best and the worst thing about Australia? And this might be controversial. It's the sun. So the best thing is the sun, because you get energy, vitamin D, it's great. But also, it's so hot. I quite like the cold. I'm from a little cold country in the Netherlands. I love the cold. I can dress for the cold. If I'm cold, I just put some more clothes on. Over here, I won't get into details because it might be slightly illegal. I can't take off any more clothes when it's too hot. It's so warm, and especially the part of Australia that I'm in, it doesn't really get cold. So Northern Australia is such a tropical place. So in wintertime, you get this nice dry heat, 30 degrees, but then in summertime, it might only be 5 degrees warmer, 35 degrees, but the humidity, man, like, it's crazy. And I feel like in the time I've been here, some people might think I've still got a baby face. I feel like I've aged so much from all the UV radiation on my skin. I feel like I've aged more than what I've done in the Netherlands, just from the UV radiation. So that's why you always see me wearing my hat, complaining about having sunscreen in my eye, because I'm really strict on like sun protection. Be sun smart. Like, the sun's great, but it can also be really dangerous if people don't look after themselves up here. Oh boy, this next question is a good one. It's from Hawa again, and she asked me, what's the biggest mental challenges from settling in another country? She might have been late with sending in these questions, but she asked me some good ones. The biggest mental challenges, it must be like missing family. It feels like a selfish thing to go to the other side of the world and follow my dreams of working with wildlife and leaving all my family behind as they get older. And it probably is quite selfish. So battling with that thought, trying to do something great and making a small kind of difference is hopefully what I'll do at some point in my life. Yeah, my family's still getting older, and that's probably the hardest mental part for me, like leaving those in the Netherlands. It's not around the corner, it's a far away from home. Okay, I've got a few extra questions. So another question is, why am I not gaming here in Australia? Well, I really tried to get back into the whole streaming thing, whether it's playing games, just chatting, or taking you guys along on my adventures. Australia is a pretty big place, and a lot of places don't have internet, so those outside in real live streams would be out of the question for now at least. And then my apartment, like, it's great, it's cheap rent, it's good location, but the thing that's not so good is it's got like no NBN, no fiber internet. It's really poor. So they've got this old ADSL kind of internet. It's unusable. And trust me, I tried to get it right. So one of the internet providers up here, I called one of their workers up and I was like, hey guys, can you please try and sort out my internet? I really need it. So this guy came and had a look at the internet, like, of the building, and he saw all these wires. He's like, oh, I need to get something, and then I'll have break and then I'll come back, all right? Guess what? He never came back. This guy had a look, this internet's not gonna work, and then he just left and he never came back. So yeah, I tried. So unless I move, it's very unlikely that I'll get back into streaming anytime soon. But the goal is still there. I still want to get back into streaming. And that answers your next question too. Will you stream again? So yeah, gaming and streaming together. Hong asked me a good question. Do you still speak Dutch? Kan ik nog steeds Nederlands praten? Of course I can talk Dutch, Hong. I will never let go of my roots that much, all right? I love my Dutchies. I'm still, I call myself the crocodile Dutchie over here. So yeah, hopefully I answered most of your questions by now. If you do have any other questions, please feel free to leave them down in the comments below. And if I didn't get to your question, hopefully some of the other questions did answer yours as well. I really appreciate you guys sticking with me through this journey of moving to Australia, not streaming and changing into this different type of content, which is like wildlife content of what we are doing right now. I understand it's not everyone's thing, but hopefully I can get you just a little bit excited, and then you go out to do something good for the planet, which in the end is a little bit better for us as well. We should do another one of these Q&As in a few months' time, just to see what the progress is and how things are going over here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.